Despite all the updates and data we've made available about job growth, a few people, including some members of Congress, continue to ask questions like, where are the jobs? So we thought we'd get outside of DC for a bit and show everyone what these jobs look like, to put a human face on the impact of the Recovery Act. Let's start in Cleveland, Ohio, where Keith Kist is back at a construction site because Cleveland's airport received $16 million to build a new taxiway that will make travel there safer, greener, and smoother for the roughly 10 million people who fly in and out every year.
Everything marked in yellow is all going to be all new drainage.
It's all concrete pipe?
Yes, all RCP, yep.
We started building this project here. We're going to build a concrete pad and put up I guess they call it a blast fence for when we start the big project out here building a new runway. The jets are going to be out here on the airport runway when they make their turn. The exhaust from the engines, from what they tell us, 140 mile an hour winds, this fence is going to protect all this property back here. Up until this point, things have been pretty slow. I was on a project that got shut down and I was laid off, and they got the call to come to the airport and start a project which is part of the stimulus act that we're talking about here. When I got the phone call, knowing that, Keith, come Monday, you're going back to work, it's definitely a hell of a good feeling, knowing that there's something waiting for you. It's been wonderful. As a matter of fact, I went out and bought a new truck last Saturday, a Ford Ranger, four-wheel drive Ranger. It's a good relief knowing that there's stuff going on. You can definitely see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Construction isn't the only industry benefiting from the Recovery Act. Police departments across the country were facing severe cuts until funds made hiring possible, as we see in St. Louis, Missouri.
Square yourself straight. Class 10, hut.
Earlier this year, the St. Louis Police Department had to make some very difficult decisions. We were faced with a loss of 100 officers on our police department.
Originally, we applied at the academy, got accepted. I was told that the class was going to start, I believe, May 4th. That class got canceled within like a week or two before it was supposed to start. So by then I had already bought a house and moved to St. Louis. From
July 27th to July 28th, things changed, and we received notice that we were going to receive $8.67 million for 50 officers for a 3-year period. What that meant is those officers who had received a call saying that they were not going to be able to attend the police academy would now start the academy again.
We received our letter saying the class was going to start October 26th, and like I said, I gave my 2 weeks notice, and here I am today.
Thank you for wanting to be a part of the Metropolitan Police Department, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks. The Recovery Act was designed to rebuild America's economy, creating sustainable green economy jobs. And at cutting-edge Solyndra in Fremont, California, the Recovery Act is helping to create long-term manufacturing jobs that will help ensure America's leadership for the 21st century.
So what we do in this whole factory is we take glass tubing and we turn them into solar cells. In the middle of last year, 2008, it appeared that we would have opportunity to ramp our factory for the last company I was working for up. Due to the downturn in the economy, we had to close the plant at the beginning of this year. Knowing that now I need to find a new job, recreate myself, also find an opportunity where I could create opportunity for those that work for me was pretty concerning. Because we got the funding, we'll be ramping from our current head count up to almost 2,000 people over the next few years. So the Recovery Act has given me the opportunity to continue to have a job here in the Bay Area. My wife is from the Bay Area. We really wanted to remain here. Right now, Fab 2 is being built, and there's already over 1,000 people working on building that factory. And the Recovery Act bringing in funds for Solyndra to be able to expand right here in our home area meant a lot to me.
One thing you may not realize is how important Recovery Act funds were for America's teachers. States across the country suffering from budget cuts have utilized stabilization funding to keep teachers on the job.
I come in here every day and I see these faces and I see the kids as they grow, and the 6th graders turn to 7th graders and the 7th graders turn to 8th graders, and they run across the cafeteria to say hello to you. They run down the hallway to say hello to you. You have impacted so many lives here. That's why I come back here every day.
Somebody tell me, what's that graph representing, Alex?
Well, this spring, our principal pulled us together for a meeting. All the teachers were on annual contracts. He said that he wasn't sure what was going to happen, whether we'd have positions here at Jackson or not. And he suggested very slyly that anybody who was really worried should start looking for somewhere else right away. When I left the meeting, I was between a rock and a hard place. I wanted to stay at Jackson, and yet I wanted to tell my wife I'd have a job. Clearly, we were in a no man's land when no one knew what was going to happen or when. But thankfully, the stimulus package came through with the resources that we needed to keep our 16 teachers here at Jackson.
Get a highlighter and set up your paper for annotations.
So it was a tumultuous year, as it is every year when economics are down and we're trying to stay in our jobs. But like I say, we're all back and we're ready to go and we're back here teaching again.
And then there is Andrea Castro, who is tackling water development projects in Reno, Nevada, thanks to the Recovery Act's commitment to small businesses. Andrea's company, Huffman & Carpenter, hired her after receiving a $400,000 Recovery Act-backed small business loan.
As an environmental scientist and also with an engineering background, I try to bridge the gap between the science and the computer programming.
What our company does as consulting scientists is that we prepare these reports so the projects, whether it's renewable energy and you need a transmission corridor, or whether you're building a shopping mall, or whether you're doing housing, you're going to have an impact on the land. And that impact has to be addressed so that both pre and post project, that impact doesn't harm the environment.
The SBA loan has helped HNC be able to hire more people, including myself. I graduated as an engineer and the job market was really, really bad actually. And so I was worried, but once Huffman & Carpenter has secured this SBA loan, there was this opportunity for me to have a job here.
This money allowed us to hire some of the best and the brightest and allow them to know that their jobs were secure here.
These stories remind us not only of the challenges this country's deep economic downturn brought to our communities, but of the people who are back on the job, putting the economy back on track. The people whose lives have been turned around because of this historic legislation. There's a lot more to learn about the Recovery Act at both the White House website and recovery.gov, where you can plug in a zip code and see economic investment that's happening near you. So check out these important resources and stay tuned for more updates from the White House on the Recovery Act. Thanks.